Hello everyone, welcome to Nevestate YouTube channel. This is Muhammad Atif, the legal advisor. Today we'll continue with you the second part regarding the eviction, but it's kind different from the first topic or the first section that we discussed together. Now we'll discuss together the eviction, but at the end or upon the expiration or upon the end of the tenancy contract. In order to vacate your property at the end of the tenancy contract, you have only 4 exclusive reasons for eviction. The most viral reasons for that eviction is the selling and self-use. Now, you as a landlord, you have your own property and you have a tenant for that property and you want to sell that property. But you want to sell that property vacant, not occupied. In order to do so, you have to serve him a legal notice by eviction for 12 months. So after that 12 months, you are getting your property back, then you can sell it. The second reason is the self-use. For the landlord himself or for the landlord first degree relative. Any of his first degree relative can use the apartment or the property or the landlord himself. And also in order to vacate the tenant from the property, you have to serve him 12-month notice. But for the self-use, what if the landlord, that for you as a tenant, just to know that, and also for the landlord to secure themselves and for the tenants to know their rights. What if the landlord got the apartment, he vacated the tenant, he got the apartment back and he didn't use it or he didn't give any of his first degree relatives to use? The law stipulated here that the landlord cannot rent that property for 2 years after he take it back for the residential properties and for 3 years for the commercial properties, which means as a landlord, I got the apartment back and I'm not using right now. So it seems that the landlord vacated the property because he want to increase the rent or whatever the reason for that eviction, but at the end it's not for the self-use as he mentioned in the eviction notice. So the law said clearly that for the residential you cannot rent it out for 2 years and for the commercial for 3 years. For the tenant, what if you came to know that the landlord is rented out the property after he kicked out you from that property in order to get extra rent or whatever the reason? Then you have the full right to file a compensation case at the RDC to get compensation from the landlord because he vacated the property and he didn't fulfill the reason that he mentioned in the eviction notice, which is the self-use or even the selling. If he didn't sell the property as he mentioned in the eviction notice, then you still have the right to file a compensation and get compensation from the landlord because he didn't fulfill the reason that mentioned in the eviction notice. So for the landlords and the tenants, both of you should know the rights and the obligations. As a tenant, once you receive the notice, then it's better to align with the reason in the notice, and without any problems you got a notice. So before the expiration of that notice with reasonable time, start searching for a new property in order not to make any problems and also to keep a good relation with the landlord. And for the landlord, please, once you send a notice with a specific reason, please fulfill that reason without playing any tricky games against the tenants. So in order to keep the relation so good without any problems, without courts, without any of that stuff, it's better that both of you knows the rights and the obligations, so we will not find any problems or any complications between both of you and have a good relation. So now we reach the end of our second part regarding the eviction at the end of the tenancy contract, which we have to serve 12-month notice for the tenant in order to sell or self-use, and there are other 2 reasons, but it's not common, and just we are trying to answer or cover the questions that we are getting from our clients, and the questions were regarding specifically these 2 reasons. So now we reach the end of this episode, so don't forget to subscribe our channel and see you in the coming episode. Bye bye.